Hey, what's going on guys? This is Vesper and I have another tutorial for everyone with Lucia. So in this video we're going to talk about her run cancels and why I feel she has the best run cancel in Street Fighter V so far. I mean, she doesn't have much competition. We got like, Yun Zeku and Ken, but really what sets her run cancel apart from other characters is the fact that it's actually real. Like when you're canceling your normals into a run, you actually have options where your opponent has to guess right, and if they guess wrong, they're gonna get punished for it. So it's not a gimmick. There's basically depth to this, and I'm gonna show you guys all the options you have and really open up your opponent's defense with Lucia and show you how strong her rushdown actually is. So let's start with the absolute basics first. To perform a run, it's core circle forward punch. And if you want to stop her run, you just press back. Or you can hold back if you want. That feels better. Now, she can cancel any normal attack that's cancelable into her run. Because her run is basically a special move. So you can go into her crouching medium kick, for example, into the run. You can go second hard punch, crouching hard punch. You get the idea, crouching medium punch. But normals that aren't cancelable, like her standing medium kick, you can't go into the run. So that's like the first general rule you need to know. The second thing is when you want to cancel her run as soon as possible, so you basically run stop as soon as you can, you basically want to wait till you see Lucia actually run and then you hold back. Because if you just input the run, core circle forward punch, and then press back right away, she's gonna run and not stop. Because she hasn't, basically there's like a buffer window where it's a little delayed and the game doesn't think you inputted the run yet. So basically, like I said, you just want to delay it a bit if you're having troubles canceling it immediately. You'll know when you do it right when it looks like the way I'm doing it right now. Now, how this could be useful, the first general thing is you basically catch your opponent off guard. So you'll be playing neutral with your opponent, you'll be doing your kicks or whatever, and you'll be zoning and whatnot. But sometimes when you poke them, all of a sudden you'll just do a burst rush forward, and then you'll start attacking them. And then all of a sudden you could just keep going. Like, if you go like this constantly, eventually your opponent's going to get fidgety, and he's going to try to stick out a button, because he's like, wow, this is basically never ending, and you're building up the great health, right? But sometimes, as long as you're basically changing which normals you're using, the timing of when she's running is going to be a little different every time. There's better normals that make you more plus than others. We'll talk about that in a bit. But eventually, your opponent, he's basically either going to mash out a button or he's going to mistime it, and you're going to land a counter hit because he might not react to it immediately. He'll be a little off because he's waiting to see you run. So what's going to happen is you're going to get some good counter hit opportunities. So something like, I'll show some examples here. First attack only. So something like this, and you get a good counter hit confirm. Or a little riskier, you can go something like into standing medium punch, for example, like this, and get a little more damage that way. Or something like that. That's like the first general thing that you're gonna get when canceling, because you're just gonna catch them off guard. Of course, you can go into throw, but we'll talk more in depth about that in a bit here. Now, another reason this is useful is just the fact that you can create shimmy opportunities immediately. So most of the time when you want to do create a shimmy opportunity, you have to knock the opponent down, or you have to cross them up so you're really close. But once you perform one run cancel successfully and get in and land that crouch and light punch, all of a sudden they're in threat of the throw and the shimmy. So hypothetically, let's say I ran towards them and they blocked my crouching light punch. I'll just set it so Akuma does a throw when I do that. So I run cancel towards them, crouching light punch, and then all of a sudden I can shimmy easily. Standing a hard punch is usually ideal, just because you get more damage from that. I mean, you can go something relatively a little bit more safer with this, even though it's -4 when it's really close. You still get punished, but that's the general gist. Like, so two basic things we went through so far is fishing for counter hits when you're close, and tick throwing and shimming. Okay, so the downsides of the run cancel, what kind of makes it a gimmick at this point of the video, is that there are gaps in between these runs. If your opponent presses their fastest 3-framer, for example, in between, it doesn't matter what button I cancel into, there is a gap in between. And Akuma, for example, 3-framer with his standing light punch, he can punish me no matter what button I cancel into my run. He'll always hit me, it doesn't matter. Crouching hard punch gives you the most frame advantage. You'll be -4, or sorry, -3 when you do from the crouching hard punch. and -4 from the standing hard punch. So even against characters with slower light normals like 4-framers, you still can't run cancel into any normal without getting hit by a light punch. Only crouching hard punch, this is -3. So if I did this against like Alex, for example, and he did light punch, I'd be able to block it. But still, I don't have any options. Like, I still can't run and then press light punch on Alex. He'll still hit me because I'm still -3, so my light punch would be way too slow by that point. But it's something to keep in mind. So this is where EX run comes into play here. So EX run, if you do a crouching hard punch into the EX run, I'm only -1. So I can even block Akuma. Like, I can block a 3-framer from the EX run from crouching hard punch, which is great. So even though I'm not able to still hit a light button on him, so if I run cancel, I'm -1 still. I only have a 3-framer, so he's still gonna beat me every time, but it would still give my opponent such short amount of time to react to what I'm doing because it's the EX version. So he has to literally mash right when he sees me do my crouching hard punch, which is it's tough to do in a match, right? Especially if you do it by surprise. So that's another option that you should consider when you do your run cancels. I mean, like I said, I still can't, if he's waiting for it, I still can't do anything. I guess I could do something gimmicky, like, I could do like an EX uppercut, but I'd be blowing 2 bars. It'd be really, like, this would be really dumb. Like, that would work, but it's 2 bars to do that, and if you block it, I'm dead. So, yeah, there's not too much there, but EX run is another option to add a layer to this. Okay, so by now you guys are probably wondering, okay, Vesper, how's this not a gimmick? You just proved to us that the opponent can mash buttons like a maniac, no matter what button I cancel the run into, even if they have slow lights like Alex 4-frame normals. And even if I use the run and burn meter, they can still just mash buttons and beat all my options. Well, this is where I'm going to explain to you what makes this so unique compared to the other run cancels in this game. And it's the fact that Lucia can cancel her run into the shoulder. So this is a lot different than running, stopping, and pressing a button, because this is actually canceling from her run, and therefore it comes out way faster than stopping and pressing a light. So let me demonstrate. So Akuma is going to mash out his light punch as soon as he leaves the block stun like usual, and like I said, if I run cancel anything, I try to stop, he's going to hit me. But this time I'm going to cancel my run into my shoulder. And all of a sudden, boom! Akuma gets hit. Not only does he get hit, it's a counter hit, and he uses absolute fastest normal on me. If he tried something a little slower, maybe a throw, maybe a crouching light punch instead, maybe if it's a 4-framer, the result would have been the same. I might have had to delay the shoulder a little bit more, but there definitely is an option to hit them, and the reward is fantastic. Look at that damage. So, obviously, there's a risk to this, because if the opponent blocks my shoulder point blank, and he didn't mash out a button, I'm -6, and therefore, I'm definitely punishable. So there's definitely a mind game to this, and it's all about conditioning your opponent, and basically adapting to how he's reacting to your run cancels. If he's just kind of sitting there like a duck, then you can just run cancel away. But once he starts getting conditioned, then he starts to realize, hey, I want to stop this guy, and he starts mashing a button. That's when you go into the shoulder, and you get big damage from that. You can mix it up with the EX run and get some bonus damage from it, and that will even work, even if it trades, even if it's not even counter hit. Another thing you can do is just go right into V-trigger as well. And finally, the most beautiful part, this is why I saved this for last, is that eventually your opponent's just going to be scared, right? He's going to be scared whether that you're going to get a counter hit, he's going to be scared you're going for a shimmy, and he's going to be scared that you're going to go into shoulder and basically counter hit him. So, at the end of the day, this is when you start going for the throws. And then it becomes real, right? Then he has to worry about so many different options, and that's where Lucia becomes very dangerous, and it all comes together. So that's pretty much the absolute basics, guys, on Lucia's run cancels. There are a lot of options you can do with this. I just showed you the basics, but there's more than enough to break the opponent's defense and really keep them guessing. You just have to be very observant on what your opponent is doing as you're doing run cancels and adapt accordingly, and it will really help you guys rank up your Lucia play and make her offense really shine and show you how scary it actually is. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial on Lucia. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below if it's helped you. Of course, subscribe to the channel and like the video, it really helps out. And also check out my other Lucia guides in the playlist that you'll see at the end of this video. And I'll see you guys with more guides in the future, okay? So, take care everyone.
Let's get it
Peace
started.
out.